Hello everyone and welcome back to me. Today, films. We've all watched them. I mean, I don't know if you can tell Star Wars. I'm just wearing this for the video because, well, films. But for my course, I've had to watch a lot of films. So, I'm going to rank them all. Now, let's just go through the tiers here quickly. Starting at the top, there is Perfect. It's 5 stars. There's literally nothing wrong with it. There won't be that many films here, but there will be a couple, and I'm going to talk about them probably for the most amount of time because I don't want to rant. Great, but something's missing. So it's very close to the top, but not quite there. Good, but is it good? Shout out to JLA. I completely stole that format from him, but it's a good film, but is it good? Meh. Just, it's there. And get in the bin, so it stinks to like the high heavens. Never watch it. It sucks ass, pretty much. Oh, and The Wonders. I'm going to talk about this piece of shit film whenever it comes up, and I cannot wait. I don't want to rant, because that potentially is the worst film I've ever watched in my life. But no spoilers, so let's get right into this.
Artists are not always the best people.
Can you tell that I'm on a film course because we're watching a short film made in 1911? Yeah, there's not really a lot to say about this, other than the fact that the director is the so-called creator of the cinema that you see today. So when you hear that, you think, wow, he must be a great, diverse human being that loves all type of film. And then you read into his other work and you realise, oh wait, he's a racist. I don't remember an awful lot about this film, really. It's not getting the bin because it's only 17 minutes, so you can just sort of forget about it. But yeah, it's just meh. Like, it's kind of dull. I mean, the only bit I really remember is at the end, when the train robbers get caught, they stop bowing to the people who caught them, which I thought was kind of interesting, but that's about it.
I also smoke exhaust pipes.
This film's kind of weird, because the leader of this planet sounds like he smoked about 50 packs of cigarettes before going into the video booth. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it in there again. I can't really think of another place to put it, because it's better than Lone-Dale Operator, but there is no story. It doesn't make any sense. It's just the camera work. It's just so good. Like, every shot just looks amazing. Like, I will give it that. I'd watch it again in silence. Like, if it had an actual somewhat good story, it might even be great, but it's just there.
Epilepsy is the name of the chronic medical condition.
This short film, I almost guarantee you, was made to kill people with epilepsy. I almost guarantee that. It is getting the bin. It is awful. This is possibly, I think it's third worst of this whole list, and that's being generous to it because of the fact it's a short film.
Stroke the beard of Garrett Bobby Ferguson.
Fuck Billy Mitchell. He is a twat. But this film is good. But is it good? Fuck Billy Mitchell.
No matter what I say, it draws controversy. It's sort of like the abortion issue. Not even Helen of Troy had that much attention. I often have people ask me what my handle is, what my 3 initials are. I tell people, look at me. What do you think my 3 initials were? If you don't know, you're not looking hard enough. USA. Well, maybe they'd like it if I lose. I gotta try losing sometime.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally done it. We have made it to a great film. We've made it to Jurassic Park, which I don't even need to explain why it's here, but I'm going to anyway. It's perfect. 100%. It is 100% a perfect film. It's just the characters are amazing, the story's amazing, the look of it is amazing. But I'm going to ruin the film for you, because when the raptor is going into the kitchen after the kids, you see a hand propping up the figure. Yeah, so that's the film ruined for you, but that won't change it from being 5 stars in my book.
They're getting hot, they're getting naked. I've almost seen penis.
This film has been described as the Spanish sex film, but get your dick back in your pants and watch this film like a normal person, okay? Don't want to be seeing that around here. The film is made by a guy, Alfonso Cuarón, who would go on to make The Prisoner of Azkaban as the next film, which, if it had this film's plot, would probably be banned because the actors were kids. I think good, but is it good? I think. And it's quite tough, but below The King of Kong.
We're going to look at how to get started using Microsoft PowerPoint.
This film was described to us when it was shown as a glorified PowerPoint, and yet for some reason, this film is genuinely great.
Now you have become the very thing you swore to destroy.
Like, it's 100% great, and it's quite near the top of that. And I can't describe why. I forgot who made the film. I'll put him up here. This is technically an episode of a TV show, but I'm gonna count it anyway because it is around an hour long. The acting in this is so shit. It's so bad that it creates some of the most unintentionally funny scenes I think I've ever watched in my life. It's definitely getting the bin, but it's 100% above the other one in here because it's fun to watch. Like, it's really fun, but it's not going for that. Yeah, it's like The Room of episodes.
But that doesn't mean most of those many think they should all just fuck off back to France.
This is the biggest carry job of any film in this list. Charlie Chaplin is pretty much the only good thing about this film. Meh. Like, it is definitely meh. And worse than Lone Del Opera. Mainly because of the end. Yeah, you can tell that this was made in 1917 now, can't you?
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
We're here, people. The Wonders. Before I say anything, there is a reason why there is a tier just for this. There is a paedophile arc that lasts around 2 minutes, that is never explained, with no repercussions, and it's never brought up again. That's not it. I could go on for hours about how stupid and boring and dull and lifeless this film is. This is the worst film that I've ever watched in my life, and I have watched Aeroplane Mode by Logan Paul, and I would watch that film 10 times over rather than rewatch this piece of dog shit film. If you say you like this, you are lying to yourself.
Humans do a lot of the legwork to make a chatbot feel human.
The fact that this film was made in 2013, I think says a lot, because it is somehow more relevant now than it was back when it was made. I don't know if this is controversial or not, I don't care. I think that this is a perfect film. Honestly, I think this is a perfect film. It's not as good as Jurassic Park, but it's still perfect. It's just got better with time. I think if I watched this in 2013, I'd probably put it in great, maybe good. But it's because now it feels like something that would genuinely actually happen.
The audiences who are brought up on these fucking cell phones.
Ridley Scott, now seen as Hollywood's angry old man whenever you talk about realism, has made an incredibly good film in Alien, which I think everyone here has watched, so they all just know that it is great. It's great. Not quite perfect. It's not quite perfect, but it's great and it's better than the PowerPoint film.
I like trans.
I almost shit myself watching this film. Yes, I am a coward. Again, I'm putting this in great and above Alien. I love the soundtrack. Like, this film's soundtrack really fits it well. Like, if you haven't seen this, I would 100% recommend that you watch this film. It's great.
Wow, this is garbage. You actually like this?
We're back to normal, people. Mysterious object at noon. Get in the bin. And it's below the one I can't name. To tell you why, because even though the one I can't name could kill a person, this one could kill you in your sleep. It's that boring. It's about an urban legend in Thailand. It's a documentary. And the urban legend is spoken about for about 20 minutes. And the rest of the film is just talking.
And now for something completely different.
Something different. It is. But I think this is good. It is good. It's definitely at the bottom though. It could even be top of meh. It's just because it's quite an interesting idea, doing two genuinely completely different stories with no interlinking between them at all throughout. Like, one is a gymnast just on her last legs doing a last Olympics, and then there's just a cheating couple that just occasionally show up. If it was just about the gymnast, I think I would probably put it in meh. What are you doing?
I was taking a video.
I've already spoken about films that have literally no story in this, but those were actually trying to get one. This was literally made with no story. The guy who made it didn't believe that films should be scripts and cameras and big productions and stuff. He just believed a Donnie with a camera, just make film. Honestly, it's top of good. If it was shorter, it would have been bottom of great. Like, don't get me wrong, the fact that this film was made in 1929, some of the edits in it are incredibly good. Like, 1929 this was made, but it was an hour and 10 minutes of just shots. It does have this iconic shot in it. And if we're talking about best shots in the film, this would be the top of perfect.
Who will be played by Chris Pratt. He's so cool.
No, World does not follow its predecessor Park in going into perfect. In fact, it actually goes below Alphaville in Meh. Name a character. Exactly. All I can remember about this film is Chris Pratt, who plays Chris Pratt for about the 15th time.
I'm here to ask for help.
Scott Pilgrim. This film is about a degenerate managing to get a girlfriend again. And he's a paedophile. Don't forget that. But it's the best film on the course. The style is amazing. The characters, even though all of them are degenerates, Scott's a degenerate, is amazing. This film is just so good. And I think you will probably have seen it as well.
Oh my god! They killed
Bob.
If you got a penny every time you watched a film where Barry Cohen is a weirdo, you'd have about £1. This film is definitely good. It's just below Man of the Movie Camera. The fact is that Barry Cohen is somehow not the most insane person in this film, which says a lot when one of his most known bits in the film is when he does his best Rick Grimes impression on his arm. So if you like horror, it scared the shit out of me, so it may scare you.
I'm going to take all the belongings back up the steps just so Harry avoids tipping the baby over again.
Battleship Potemkin. I'm probably going to put this just ahead of Killing of a Sacred Deer because it's quite immersive, especially for a propaganda film. I came into this thinking it was going to be a lot worse, and it was actually quite good. And yes, that baby did die falling down the steps.
Richard Gere does a very interesting technique. He does in a lot of his films. Not people pick him up on it.
The director of this film is a photographer forced to become a director. The shots in this film are incredible. They're beautiful. But everything else is shit. It's getting the bin. I don't like to say it, but it's above everything else in there, like, because of how good the shots are. I know Alphaville's in meh because of that, but at least Alphaville, you don't know what's going on, but you know there's a story. Days of Heaven goes from a wedding to a flying circus.
Is penguins. Crested penguins.
Another one of Benedict Cumberbatch's films. What? Benedict Cum. Why did I write that on my script? I think it is a good film. It is a good film. I think it's tough. I think it's below Potemkin. Because Potemkin, I was thinking at times could be great. I never thought that with Invitation Game. And also, I found out that after watching the film, that most of it was just complete bullshit.
What the hell are you talking about?
I shit you not when I say this. This film had a 3-hour-long script, and the film was an hour and a half long. That in itself puts it in get in the bin. It's at the top of get in the bin because everyone talks so quickly.
Oh, why should I? I thought it'd be a novelty to have a face around here a man could look at without shuddering.
Listen, Walter.
Listen, I made a great reporter out of you, Hildy, but you won't be half as good on any other paper, and you know it. We're a team, that's what we are. You need me and I need...
Genuinely, they speak so quickly because the director was trying to break a record for the most amount of words said in a film or something like that. I'll put... Like, imagine if I was talking the whole video just like this, and then talking about everything. I'm talking about all these films. Talking about Scott Pilgrim, Jurassic Park, her, blah, 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 blah. Imagine I was doing that the whole time. You'd click off. I didn't get that option of leaving. I had to stay.
It's the guys from Fortnite.
The trend of beginners in a franchise is continuing here with Godzilla, which, for most of the film, was good, but then the end made it great. The end, for the fact that they are killing a creature that is killed an entire city of people, is surprisingly sad. Because I feel like all of the rest of them, most of the rest of them anyway, are just, we've got big bad nuclear, and there's Godzilla. He's over here. He's killing with his breath. He is big man. And I find it quite funny that the Americans tried to make this film, but all they did was just have it so that there would just be scenes where there's just an American Don who just says shit about what's happening.
A prehistoric monster the Japanese call Godzilla has just walked out of Tokyo Bay. He's as tall as a 30-story building. Now he's making his way toward the city's main line of defense. 300,000 volts of electricity strung around the city is a barrier against Godzilla.
Myself and my friends went to see The Searchers.
John Wayne hates Native Americans, the movie. I would understand if he started hating them after they stole his niece. But when he finds his niece again in the Native American camp, and she is used to living like a Native American, he tries to kill his niece. But I think good, but is it good? Is the perfect way to describe this film.
We got this, man. We got this by the ass.
We didn't watch the original one of these. We watched the Cannes Movie Festival version of it instead. I know I butchered that, but it made it worse. It's quite tough. I think behind King of Kong,
we live in a society.
We live in a society.
When is it gonna end, Robbie?
I am not exactly a guy who likes musicals very much, and a normal musical has around 12 to 13 musical segments in it. This one has 28. Get in the bin. Get in the bin.
I don't even know who you are.
Last but not least, we're talking about Letter from an Unknown Woman, which should actually be called Letter from a Known Woman, because the main guy met this woman 3 fucking times. I'd put it above Godzilla. The end is very good as well. Him going off to Jewel, and then he finally sees her, finally remembers. Could have done that ages ago, but he's just an idiot. Thank you all for listening to my ranking. I was fully expecting before starting this course that I'd watch a lot more shit. Even though I have watched some shit, I've watched some absolute bangers as well. If you disagree with any of my rankings, I don't care, but leave it in the comments anyway, just so it can clog up the numbers. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. In a different background as well.
Everyone watching should subscribe to Serpentine.